In the roaring days of the Celtic Tiger, one man stood above the rest in Ireland's banking sector, Sean FitzPatrick. A charismatic figure, FitzPatrick began his journey in the financial world with a simple auditor role. Yet he was not destined to remain in the shadows. His ambition and business acumen saw him ascend the corporate ladder swiftly, making a name for himself within the banking industry. FitzPatrick's transformative leadership was instrumental in the rise of Anglo-Irish Bank. Under his stewardship, the bank experienced rapid growth, expanding its reach far beyond the shores of Ireland. His innovative strategies reshaped the bank's operations, setting it apart in a fiercely competitive market. At the heart of FitzPatrick's vision was an aggressive lending strategy. He championed a culture of risk-taking, encouraging bold investments that promised high returns. This was a new era in Irish banking, one marked by audacity and ambition. FitzPatrick's drive and tenacity were infectious, inspiring his team to push boundaries in pursuit of success. Yet, it wasn't just about the numbers. FitzPatrick understood the power of relationships in banking. He was known for his charm and charisma, qualities that helped him forge strong connections within the industry. His ability to build and maintain relationships was a cornerstone of Anglo-Irish Bank's success, but his leadership was not without controversy. Critics argued that FitzPatrick's aggressive approach was reckless, that his appetite for risk was too great. They warned that the bank's rapid growth was unsustainable, that it was a bubble waiting to burst. Yet, in the heat of the Celtic Tiger era, these voices of caution were drowned out by the roar of success. Sean FitzPatrick, a charismatic leader with a golden touch, propelled Anglo-Irish Bank to the pinnacle of success. His bold strategies and relentless ambition set the stage for a dramatic rise, transforming a modest bank into a titan of the industry. But as we'll soon discover, the higher they rise, the harder they fall. At the height of his power, FitzPatrick was hailed as a titan of the Irish banking industry. His charismatic leadership and strategic acumen propelled Anglo-Irish Bank to the forefront of Ireland's financial sector, marking a golden era of prosperity and growth. During this time, FitzPatrick's influence extended far beyond the walls of Anglo-Irish Bank. He was revered as a visionary, a man who dared to break the mold and redefine the boundaries of banking in Ireland. His audacious business strategies and relentless drive for success were lauded as the catalyst for the bank's soaring profits and dominant market position. Under FitzPatrick's stewardship, Anglo-Irish Bank enjoyed a meteoric rise in the early years of the new millennium. The bank's aggressive lending practices and high-risk investments paid off handsomely, generating unprecedented profits and elevating its status among the world's leading financial institutions. FitzPatrick was showered with accolades and recognition. He was named Business Person of the Year, graced the covers of prestigious financial magazines, and was even invited to share his insights at international banking conferences. His innovative approaches to banking were hailed as a blueprint for success, and he was widely regarded as one of the most influential figures in the Irish business landscape. But as the bank's fortunes soared, so too did FitzPatrick's ambitions. He became embroiled in a high-stakes game of financial risk-taking, pushing the boundaries of ethical banking practices in his relentless pursuit of success. Behind the scenes, however, the bank's aggressive lending practices and risky investments were creating a precarious financial situation. The foundations of FitzPatrick's empire were built on a house of cards, and the cracks were starting to show. But beneath this veneer of success, trouble was brewing. The golden era of Anglo-Irish Bank was about to come crashing down, and with it, the reputation of the man who had once stood as a titan of the Irish banking industry. When the global financial crisis hit, FitzPatrick's empire began to crumble. As the Celtic Tiger era drew to a close, Ireland was hit hard by the financial storm that was sweeping across the globe. The property market, once a powerhouse of the Irish economy, began to falter. And with it, so did the fortunes of Anglo-Irish Bank. Under FitzPatrick's leadership, the bank had made risky investments and heavily exposed itself to the property market. When property prices plunged, the bank was left with a mountain of bad loans. The aggressive lending practices that had once driven the bank's success now threatened to be its downfall. The bank's shares plummeted, and the financial health of the institution was in serious question. As the crisis deepened, the spotlight turned to FitzPatrick and his leadership at Anglo-Irish Bank. Suspicions arose that all was not as it seemed within the bank's gleaming headquarters. Initial investigations into the bank's operations revealed a disturbing picture. There were indications of financial irregularities, questionable loans, and a lack of transparency that was deeply troubling. The bank's auditors raised red flags about the circulation of large unsecured loans, many of which were linked to FitzPatrick himself. It appeared that the bank had been manipulating its balance sheet, hiding the extent of its liabilities, and painting a rosier picture of its financial health than was the reality. As these revelations came to light, FitzPatrick's reputation came under fire. He was no longer seen as the titan of Irish banking, but as a symbol of the greed and recklessness that had characterized the Celtic Tiger era. The media, once full of praise for FitzPatrick's ambitious leadership, now questioned his ethics and integrity. FitzPatrick's reputation was on the line as investigators began to uncover a web of deception. The fall of Sean FitzPatrick had begun, setting the stage for one of the most dramatic downfalls in Irish corporate history. His story serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition and the importance of transparency in the world of finance. The extent of FitzPatrick's financial misconduct sent shockwaves through Ireland's financial sector. As the investigations unfolded, the findings were nothing short of staggering. FitzPatrick's reckless leadership at Anglo-Irish Bank had created a financial house of cards built on aggressive lending practices, risky investments, and a culture of secrecy. Investigators discovered a web of financial misconduct, including concealed loans, fraudulent accounting practices, and a failure to maintain adequate capital reserves. The scale of the deception was simply monumental, and the consequences were equally devastating. As the truth emerged, the media descended on the story with relentless fervor. Headlines blared across the front pages, painting a picture of unchecked ambition and stunning disregard for ethical business practices. The public reaction was one of shock, anger, and betrayal. Trust in Ireland's banking sector was shattered as people grappled with the scale of the deceit. FitzPatrick's fall from grace was dramatic and swift. Once hailed as a titan of the banking industry, he was now vilified as a symbol of corporate greed and corruption. The scandal also sent tremors through Ireland's financial industry, causing a crisis of confidence that would take years to recover from. The impact on the banking sector was profound. Confidence in the industry plummeted, and the government was forced to intervene, pouring billions into a banking system on the brink of collapse. The fallout rippled across the economy, leading to job losses, business failures, and a severe contraction in economic growth. Meanwhile, FitzPatrick found himself at the center of a legal maelstrom. He faced a series of trials and investigations, with the weight of public opinion and the media firmly against him. His reputation was irreparably tarnished, and his legacy as a banking titan was forever marred by scandal and controversy. FitzPatrick's downfall was a stunning fall from grace. His story serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked ambition and ethical lapses in corporate leadership. As the dust settles on this chapter of Ireland's financial history, the lessons learned from FitzPatrick's rise and fall will continue to reverberate throughout the industry. The legacy of Sean FitzPatrick serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition. This man, who once stood tall as a titan of the Irish banking industry, fell spectacularly from grace, leaving a trail of financial devastation in his wake. His story is not just one of personal failure, but a symbol of an era marked by excess and reckless disregard for the rules. As we reflect on his downfall, we must also consider the broader implications it had on Ireland's financial landscape. The collapse of Anglo-Irish Bank, under FitzPatrick's leadership, exposed serious flaws in the country's regulatory framework and corporate governance practices. It was a wake-up call for Ireland, a stark realization that the glistening facade of the Celtic Tiger era was built on shaky foundations. The scandal surrounding FitzPatrick has prompted a re-evaluation of corporate governance in Ireland. In the aftermath of his downfall, there has been a push for greater transparency and accountability in the financial sector. The banking industry has been forced to confront its past mistakes and take steps to ensure they are not repeated. Regulators have implemented stricter oversight measures, while companies have been urged to foster a culture of ethical conduct and responsible decision-making. The hope is that these changes will prevent future financial scandals and protect the integrity of Ireland's financial system. But the lessons learned extend beyond the realm of finance. They touch on issues of personal responsibility, ethical leadership, and the consequences of unchecked ambition. They remind us that success should never come at the expense of integrity, and that those in positions of power must be held accountable for their actions. The story of Sean Fitzpatrick, from hero to villain, is a cautionary tale for the ages. It is a tale that should not be forgotten, but rather studied and learned from. As we move forward, let us do so with the wisdom gained from past mistakes and the determination to build a more ethical, accountable